Hey, level 2 dancers, 2A, it's Mr. Casey. I am here at the studio thinking about you guys and wanting to move with you guys and dance with you guys again so bad. I hope you're eating all your fruits and vegetables and staying healthy and drinking lots of water, taking all these amazing online classes. There's so much, even I've been like trying to take class as much as I can. Being that I work in this place Monday through Saturday or a studio of some sort, it's been really hard on me mentally and physically to not be moving and not to be dancing and not to see my students and the families that I've learned to call my extended family. But I can't wait to see you back in the studio when we are all healthy and strong. That said, you need to be taking your class once a week. And parents, I definitely encourage, try to get them dressed down. Don't worry about the buns so much, but get dressed down and be ready for your class. I would keep it at routine, like if they have class at Friday at 5:30, for instance, that's when they're taking their class. Or if that's family time and your schedule's changed, try to create a routine for that. So they are taking class once or twice a week, ideally. And then updates to those class videos will be taking place after classic spring break. So you may have to see my kitchen, though. We may have to be doing it from there. We'll see where that goes. Today I'm here for a tutorial on your recital. You have beautiful costumes, and we have goals moving forward to perform for our audience. My concern with ballet on video. That's not how we learn ballet. That's not the interaction we need. But necessity is the mother of invention, and we're kind of reinventing the real. Every studio across America right now is doing this. Unfortunately, the bigger arts organizations are not doing very well, but hopefully we will all come back from this strong and support our artists and our small businesses and local families. And the problem with ballet on video is that ballets have multiple sections and more complicated patterns. In other words, families that are listening, there's not always just two lines that switch and do it and do it and do it. It is more of a production. Sorry, I'm moving my camera, so if I make you seasick, I apologize. But there's a lot of movement and patterning that takes place in ballets that doesn't always take place in other dance forms as much or as complicated. And even at level 2, we introduce this to get them thinking spatially and awareness and where they need to be and what group am I in and who am I with and who's my partner and what count do I go on. Those are important skills. However, it makes doing something like this a lot more complicated because I can only be one person in one place at any given time. So this tutorial is going to be a walkthrough. It's not going to be a full-on Mr. Casey doing the dance for them and then breaking it down and being able to go over it again and again and again. You can go over it again and again and again. I'm not a tech person. I have very low tech at my house, but I know a lot of you have the ability to put these on your TVs and stuff, so I definitely encourage that. But to the dancers in particular, this dance had been done for 2 or 3 weeks almost before we went on an extended vacation. So they should know this by heart. I really have every faith that they know what they're doing. All they need to do is hear the music from your portal and boom, it's turned on. They know exactly what's going on. So in the case that they don't, there will be this tutorial to go over a little bit of details. And I would also encourage you using my email that Molly, the studio, sent out with master teacher emails. Those are my business email. You can get me there. Feel free to send me a comment. Hey, how are you doing? Send me a video. That would be my favorite because my joy is from not only imparting my passion, my church, my love, my daily doctrine, my meditation to the kids through ballet, but it's seeing the kids dance. That's always been why I do what I do. And not being with my kids is really hard. So send me videos and pictures. I would love that. It would warm my heart. And if you have any questions about the dance, they can also do maybe a little video on your phone or device and send me that, and then I can respond to them. That would be awesome. Right now, I have a little more time on my hands than I need. So please keep me busy with the kids. This production for level 2A is called What a Wonderful World. It's to the classic Louis Armstrong song. Should be on your portal, but you can find it literally everywhere. I mean, you probably have it somewhere anyways. It's a little complicated. I'm going to move my computer around again to warn you so you don't get a little seasick. It's a little complicated because there are two major groups. Off-stage dancers, you know this. Stage right, stage left. I'm trying to orient the studio as you would normally see it as a dancer so that it jogs your memory a little bit. But in general, I have a group of duets over here. Now, there is a lot of partnering in pretty much every recital dance this year. So a lot of that will have to be edited, and it will be. As soon as we get them back in the building, all of those partnering things will be deleted, and there will be no touching in the dance through the end of the year. And as well as curriculum and syllabus, I'm deleting all of like the partnering stuff until we get a really firm go-ahead that everybody's healthy. So anyhow, there's a group over here, and there's a trio, a group on stage of girls over here as well. This little group is doing, I believe it's Mia, possibly Finley, or no. I won't go over the girls' names because I'm having a brain death and I didn't write it down. So there is a group of three girls over here doing arms to the beginning of the music. They've been doing great with it. They have a little partnering section where they do hug each other. Will have to be deleted. I want the kids learning and watching this tutorial to remind themselves that they are in fact doing that because it will be easier to edit later. I don't want to try to edit on a tutorial or a video. I want them thinking of the original dance so that when they come back, it's easier for me to redline things and it'll be a little more functional. It works better. It works better. So anyhow, we have our little trio doing their little arms over here, and they're telling a little story with the vocals. It's very lyrical ballet. It's all lyrics. And then they do a little group hug or something. And then they run and they join, which is the group entering here doing classic ballet skips. They were with a partner and then spreading out into two lines on a diagonal shape in first position. From there, they do a little group dance. After the group dance, they skip to a new two lines with windows, and they do a little core dance, a little group dance in the center. From their little two lines, they will break, and they go into a little duet with the girl in front of them on the floor. And from there, we basically get to an ending. Like I said, this tutorial is going to be a little hard because there are so many groups doing things and some reversals. But I did have every faith that they knew it before they left. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to walk through it with the music, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the first group that I'm going to start with is the trios on the floor, the little trio of girls. Most of the majority of the core group of ballet dancers is off stage right, but the group of three that are sitting in the front. Okay, so as they're sitting, I'm going to stand, but they do an arm movement. So I'm going to try to get the music started and then get over there so you can see it a little bit. Let's do this. Move around a little bit. I'm still learning the learning curve on teaching on video as well. So I will face front so they can see that reversal of choreography. Totally fine. 5, 6, 7, 8. So during that part, that just struck me in my head again, they are doing a little wake up and stretch. So as they're sitting on the ground, they're waking up, they're stretching, they're yawning, they look at the sun, and then they take their moment ready to do their arms. So trio, I'm looking in the mirror as my video is here. So let's say you're sitting over here. I know that Bristol is one of these girls. I believe Miss Barker, and I can't remember the third girl over here, is one of them. So as we're sitting here, we do the little wake up. We look out the window. We make sure it's a sunny day, wipe the sleeps out of our eyes, and do our yawn. And then we do arm goes around and down. Arm goes around and down. So this is all with the vocals. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. And that's not the words. So one moment for station identification. Mr. Casey. So I'm going to do this with the music because it's easier for me. That's how I learn things as a dancer. So we'll do it that way.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a
Friendship. That's their friendship pose, and they do their skips to their group. And first.
I see skies of blue.
So, apologies for not breaking that down with the counts or the words. Again, my memory is a different thing than the little kids. So, we wake up, we look out the window, we rub our eyes, and we yawn. We do I see trees of green, and then the other side, the little gardening dance moment, up and out for me and for you. They get up a little bit more delicately and nicely than I did. To first, they make an arabesque, and then they do a little hug with each other. Now that I think about it, it's a foursome. That's why I can't remember the other two. Because they did a hug. So there are 4 girls over here. I'm sure they know who they are because it's a big deal when you have a little group. And then they do their skips to the group. Okay?
I see skies of blue.
The next section is their group, 2 lines with windows. This group has done their skips in. Again, if we remember dancers, you were holding hands over here and skipping, just classic ballet skips with your hands, held to your first position, and you held. Yeah? And then we have our little choreography there. Let's go over that as a group. The foursome would also be, as they come around, would also be involved in this.
I see skies of blue.
They're talking our best. Top the other way.
Listen to the dogs at night.
They gather.
And I think to myself,
Draw heart.
what a wonderful world.
They blow a kiss. And then they skip to their 2 lines with
The
windows.
colors of the rainbow.
So to break that down, your 2 lines of windows, you can tell I'm a dancer because if you ask me on the street what comes after this, I probably would say I don't know. And then I hear it with the music and I'm like, oh yeah, it's this. So that's one major reason I really feel that these kids are going to be resilient and have this like no problem. So as soon as they hear that music. Girls, you'll remember you were in 2 lines of windows going down the pathway here. And we had our pose, and then we did tendu, tendu, first arabesque, and then we switch, tendu, tendu, first arabesque. We gather a plie in 5th, and we do our little bourrée, tight legs, of course. We draw a little heart, and we come down. We blew a kiss, and then we stretched out to our arabesque, and we skip. The 2 lines separate into 2 new lines, classic windows on the stage, 1 girl, so it makes a little trio of a V's. When they get there, we go on to the 3rd section.
So pretty, the colors of the rainbow. So pretty in the sky.
They go through their walk,
Also on the faces
they hear bats,
of people going by.
and then they
I
do a
see
little walk,
friends shaking hands.
shaking dance with their friends. So this part, they're in their 2 lines with windows, and they're in first position. It's all identical choreography, girls, you'll remember. We did a rainbow arm, really expansive and big. From there, we do our look at all the passerbys, and then we make an arabesque, and we reach, and then we do a skip over to our friend, and we do a handshake. Nice to meet you. And then we do, it was either a walk or a skip. I have to admit, I forget. I believe it's a skip. Everybody just yelled at the camera. I'm sure it's a skip. I'm pretty sure it's a skip too, kids. So we do our skip back to our line. Once we get back to our line, we do that little I love you. There is one girl who's sitting cross-legged. Girls, you remember it's called ballerina sits. Want to make sure you're pointing your toe and beveling and keeping your knee down and pointing your toes. And then there's a girl in the back who's standing up in first position behind her or to the side. So from there, they do that I love you. And they point at the eye, they make a heart, and then they go through. It's one of their favorite parts. They're really, really good at it. So I'm sure they're yelling right now, too, that I didn't do it completely accurately. So follow them. I trust them. They're doing beautiful with this. They love this dance. As that happens, they go into the next section. So they are in their pose still, whether seated or in first. And they do I hear babies cry, and then they do I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and that's a turn. So from growing or standing up, if they're growing, they just do spins into a bridge. Ladies, you'll remember we had 2 lines turning into our bridge, and we went up. And then we went out to arabesque, and then we did a curtsy, and then we polka 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 to our new lines. So to review, we get up, we go into our dancing, we go into 2 lines, vertical, we do our little partner moment here, up, arabesque, curtsy, we split center, we go around the block doing our polkas. I watch them say, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow, fertile and much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful. That's your polka. I think to myself. The finale is where they're standing together and they think to themselves, what a wonderful world. And that was a lot of improv. In level 1 pre-ballet and level 2, I tend to give a little bit of improv in every recital dance, just to allow them some freedom of creativity. I think that's really important. My teacher did it up through high school with us sometimes, not every year, but and I think that kind of fed a need of creativity and artistry. So they do have a little bit of that at the end, which is hard to teach on a tutorial, but in general, just basically dance how you want. In ballet, they were assigned that they try to keep it the same each time. That doesn't necessarily means that it happened. So that's fine as long as they're filling that space in the music. And then they come into their final pose. At the very end of the music, just to review, they're in a straight line in the back at that point. That's when they turn to the audience and they do a look. They do a look at the audience, and then there's a little bit of a surprise for the audience at the end that I'm not going to go over in the tutorial because we are still going to perform this. And we still have goals with that. So I don't want to give the surprise away, but there is a surprise at the very end. The dancers know what it is. If they don't, then we will go over it in class when we finally get back to the studio. But in general, that is their dance. And the surprise at the end will be fun. I'm excited for it myself. So what I'm going to do now is do the entire piece to the music as a dancer. Probably one of the dancers seated because they have the most choreography, whereas the girls who come on just start with skips, and they should know that by heart. So relatively, I'm not going to be doing both or all 3 or 4 parts. So please know which one you're doing. Dancers, you guys are intelligent. I try to build that responsibility and self-leadership and self-reliance early. That's really important to me as a teacher and as a human being that I'm passing on to my kids. So hopefully they learned that with this. I'm going to set the music up, and when I push play, we will be back and ready to do the dance from the top, and then you can review as you will. Okay, here we go. What a wonderful world.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They're like much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
They're in a straight line.
To myself,
They turn.
what a wonderful.
This is their improv section. And then their final pose, which they also know as well. So I hope that helped a little bit. If it didn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Dance is not necessarily built for a tutorial. I mean, other than classwork, which is a lot more gray, black and white, individual. So get the time. Listen to me, I'm winded from level 2. Get the questions to me if you have any, and if not, continue rehearsing as much as possible. Keep it fresh in their head. We still have goals. We're moving forward, and I can't wait to see you guys all back in the studio soon. I love you and I miss you so much. Bye.